There is a reason why some people seem to carry an invisible magnetism wherever they go. Opportunities appear around them. People are naturally drawn toward them. Favor seems to follow them without struggle. It is not always because of talent, appearance, or intelligence. Often it is because of the state they occupy inwardly. They expect life to support them. They assume they are worthy of success. They carry an inner atmosphere of certainty, and the world unconsciously responds to that energy. Your state of consciousness is constantly communicating even when you say nothing. Long before words are spoken, people feel your assumptions through your presence, reactions, posture, and emotional energy. Someone who deeply believes they are unwanted unconsciously projects hesitation and fear. Someone who feels secure inwardly radiates calmness and confidence naturally. The outer world is responding not merely to behavior but to identity. This is why changing your inner state can alter your entire social experience. Relationships often mirror the assumptions you hold about yourself and others. If you assume people cannot be trusted, you begin noticing evidence that confirms suspicion. If why? You believe you are difficult to love, you may unconsciously push affection away. But when you enter the state of being valued, respected, and loved, your interactions begin shifting because consciousness itself has changed. Many people try to control external behavior while ignoring the inner story generating that behavior. But the subconscious always acts according to identity. If someone secretly feels inferior, they may overcompensate outwardly through arrogance, approval-seeking, or emotional withdrawal. Yet the core assumption remains unchanged until consciousness itself transforms. The hidden power within you does not merely shape events, it shapes perception. Two people can experience the same situation, yet interpret it completely differently because they occupy different states. One person sees temporary failure as proof they are doomed. Another sees it as part of growth. One interprets silence as rejection. Another interprets it as neutrality. Reality is filtered through consciousness before it is experienced emotionally. This is why mastering your inner world is one of the greatest forms of freedom. A person who cannot control their reactions remains enslaved by appearance, ease. But a person who understands consciousness gains the ability to choose meaning rather than automatically inherit it from circumstance. There is enormous creative power in expectation. What you truly expect often shapes the direction of your experiences because expectation influences attention, emotion, decision-making, and behavior subconsciously. A person expecting disappointment notices signs confirming disappointment everywhere. A person expecting blessing remains open to opportunities others overlook. Expectation is faith operating quietly within consciousness. Most people live in unconscious expectation of struggle because they have repeated it internally for so long. They expect things to go wrong. They expect delay. They expect rejection. They expect life to be difficult. Then when hardship appears, it feels natural because consciousness prepared for it in advance. But imagine beginning each day with a different assumption entirely. Imagine expecting guidance, favor, abundance, peace, and alignment. Imagine emotionally preparing for success instead of disaster. This simple shift begins transforming your experience because consciousness itself changes direction. The hide and creative power within you responds strongly to what feels natural. If fear has been practiced for years, peace may initially feel unfamiliar. If chaos has dominated life, stability may feel strange. This is why many people return unconsciously to old patterns even after experiencing temporary breakthroughs. The old identity still feels more familiar than the new one. Persistence is what changes familiarity. Every time you return inwardly to the desired state, you strengthen it. Every time you refuse to emotionally collapse into the old state, you weaken old patterns. Gradually, the new identity begins stabilizing. What once felt impossible starts feeling believable. What once felt distant starts feeling close. What once felt unnatural becomes your normal way of being. This is how transformation truly happens, not through one dramatic moment, but through repeated inner occupation of a new state until consciousness accepts it fully. The world often glorifies external action while ignoring inner assumption. Yet assumption is what gives action its power. Two people may perform the same action outwardly while carrying completely different states inwardly. One acts from fear and desperation, ion. The other acts from confidence and certainty. Though the behavior appears similar, The energy behind it differs entirely, and reality responds accordingly. You must begin understanding that consciousness itself carries creative influence beyond what the logical mind can fully explain. Your inner state affects intuition, timing, emotional perception, and even the opportunities you recognize. A person living in fear may overlook doors opening directly before them because consciousness filters possibility through limitation. But a person living in expectation of success notices possibilities naturally. This is why gratitude can transform life so rapidly. Gratitude shifts attention from absence to possession. It moves consciousness from lack into fullness. A grateful mind begins noticing abundance already present, and that emotional state attracts further experiences aligned with abundance. Complaining does the opposite. Complaint fixes attention upon what is missing, unfair, or painful. Sustained complaint deepens emotional identification with lack. Whatever state dominates emotionally eventually shapes perception.